This is the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, some retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Well, you know, last night we got WWE Saturday Night's main event, and WWE gave us chaos. They gave us cage matches. They gave us title fights, and you know what? They even gave us a shocking return. But when it was all said and done, something to me just felt off. Was WWE Saturday Night's main event a big swing, or was it a soft, like, pop fly that never left the infield? Later on in the show, I'm going to break down exactly why I think that WWE Saturday Night's main event felt flat. Like, what was wrong with Saturday Night's main event? This card had every single thing that you wanted on paper. But when that final bell rang, I felt more confused than satisfied, scratching my head, wondering what's going on. There was matches that felt short. There were moments that were stacked too tightly. And if you ask me, WWE Saturday Night Main Event, it just didn't have time to breathe. And look, I am not here to bury the WWE. I'm just here to hold them accountable for what they made us sit through last night. Like I said, later in the show, I'm going to be breaking down all the stats that says it all. But let's break it down match by match. We're going to start with the chaotic tag match that almost fooled us into thinking that we were getting a classic. One of the things that I always say, being a semi-retired pro wrestler, is that that first match just always sets the table for you. It always lets you know what to expect in the night. And that first match delivered 120 million%. When that first match dropped and when that bell rang, just the way that it started with that wild opening let me know, you know what, let me sit back and perk up. Because after WrestleMania and then after Backlash, and I expected so much more. I expected this to be a free, premium live event level show that we were going to get on free TV or Peacock or Netflix or however it is the heck that you watch. And that's not what we got. What we did get, though, was we did get a return from Mr. Big Bronson Reed. He made sure that he put CM Punk through that barricade last night. And the thing, too, though, is that nobody expected him to come back. Not at least yet. He was the person that was in the forethought of your mind, like, Bronson Reed. Out of all the names that you could have picked out of a hat to join Seth Rollins, I promise you, one of those names was not Bronson Reed. But here's the thing that WWE is doing with the storytelling, and here's the thing that I'm loving. They're utilizing the camera angles to even further the storylines. It's not just on the ring or, just you see CM Punk standing there and all of a sudden a masked man jumps in. What you see is that you got Paul Heyman jawing with the ref, arguing with the referee, right? Because he's about to get kicked out. But right there in that corner, you got Bronson Reed hopping the barricade and about to come over, and nobody is any smarter. You can see the fans in attendance. They're just pointing like, look, look, look. And all of a sudden, Bronson Reed, he's back. But why? What is his reason for joining Seth Rollins and the crew? Because, Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, they had some beef earlier in the fall, early in the winter. So now all of a sudden, they're just friends now. I can tell you why I think that they're just friends. I think it has to do all about respect. It's respect that was earned by Seth Rollins during the whole entire thing, that he said, you know what? That's a guy that I would rather have on my side or against me. But you also have that loyalty from Braun Breaker as well, too. Look, the only thing that he is missing is Braun Breaker Braun Strowman in that group. It'd be the whole, the Braun Breaker experience. But there you go. You got the new Dangerous Alliance or whatever they're going to call themselves. You got Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and the advocate, Paul Heyman. I think, though, that this summer that we're going to have with everything going on with WWE right now, I think that Seth Rollins and company, it's going to be epic. Wait until the fall, because I think that Seth Rollins will be seeking gold around WrestleMania 42. That is my hot take. If you don't believe me, just stick around, because that's what we do here in the Tristan Law Show. But next up, we're going to talk about Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, I think that she put on the clinic, and I'm starting to think that she is trapped in a faction that is holding her back. And she's with the LWO. In case you didn't know. If it's your first time here, I'm just telling you who she is with. And I think that's holding her back. I think that she's so much more than she's just so much more than where she is now. She needs to be able to break out from that and succeed and go above, because I feel like she's in the LWO with a bunch of other mid-carders. Why she will never become more than a mid-carder if she's hanging out with mid-carders. She needs to be up there in the upper echelon with the Charlotte Flairs, with Tiffany Strattons, even with the Nia Jaxes. That's where she needs to be. I neglected the chat for a little bit. Let's go back to the chat. Let's see. Heel Vega says he fell asleep during the opening match. A good friend told him via text that he didn't miss much. 100%. You're going to get a hand clap for that. That friend's going to have to get a hand clap because you ain't missed nothing in that. And you didn't really miss anything in Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event, the only purpose, if you ask me, for Saturday night's main event was just the forward storylines. There was no real, business that was handled. It was just to say, you know what? We got Money in the Bank coming in the next 2 weeks. We're just going to give you something. They shouldn't have put it so damn close together. Heel Vega also says, I think that Bronson blames Punk for his ankles being broken, especially after Punk bragged about doing it in a promo a while back. I love that. You're watching, you're reading the writing on the wall. You're seeing exactly what's happening. Thank you very much for your comments in the chat. Whether you're watching this live or on demand, feel free to jump into the chat. I read everything. We're up to 402 subscribers, so we are growing here on the Tristan Law Show. But back to that Zelina Vega match versus Chelsea Green. I think that Zelina Vega is a future world champion. She has to be. She is just not where she belongs. They say that you are the company that you keep. That is Zelina right there with the United States Championship. Okay, there's no reason that can't be the women's world champion or the women's championship, WWE championship, whatever the heck they call it these days. There's no reason that it can't be that. And the only reason that is that she's hanging around with the likes of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio isn't even a main eventer anymore. If anything, he's a wash-up and he's a has-been. And if you don't understand why Dominic Mysterio don't like his dad, just watch. Just watch. He wants to be in a flock of main eventers, and Dominic Mysterio is going to boost himself up and become a main eventer, and Zelina Vega and the whole entire LWO just seems to see it that Rey Mysterio is not it anymore. Nah, not at all. Leave that one alone there. Heel Vega says that his issue with Zelina Vega, is her entire gimmick is I'm a Puerto Rican wrestler that was cheered in Puerto Rico once when she's way better and above that. Damn. I'm going to have to let that one cook. Heel Vega said that Zelina Vega's, I wonder if you guys are related. He said that Zelina Vega's entire gimmick is I'm a Puerto Rican wrestler that was cheered in Puerto Rico one time. Yo, it's the God's day. You going to make me cuss. But you know what? Damn, man. You're going to have to get yourself another hand clap for that because I can't disagree with that. What is Zelina Vega's gimmick? What does Zelina Vega bring to the table? Maybe that's another issue with Zelina Vega. We know that Zelina Vega is a really good wrestler. She's a really good entertainer. But the problem is that she's running around as a Puerto Rican wrestler that was cheered in Puerto Rico one time. That is her gimmick. Why should anybody care? Now, don't get it wrong. Damian Priest, he's a Puerto Rican wrestler as well, too. But he doesn't run around saying, hey, I'm a Puerto Rican wrestler that wrestled Bad Bunny. He's not saying that. You got Carlito. Carlito's Puerto Rican as well, too. He's not running around saying, oh, I'm a Puerto Rican wrestler and my dad is one of the biggest Puerto Rican wrestlers ever. No, but Zelina Vega's running around with, don't get it wrong. I'm not telling nobody not to have pride about their heritage and where they come from, about their city, state, town, country, or any place in the world. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that maybe Zelina Vega just needs a little bit more. Maybe that's where she's lacking. She's probably lacking in the gimmick department. We're not saying that Zelina Vega can't wrestle, but like Heel Vega said, Zelina Vega needs to be more than the Puerto Rican wrestler that was cheered one time in Puerto Rico. Yeah. She's a future world champion, but she's not a future world champion in the LWO. Then came a match that should have meant, if you ask me, I think that match should have meant a lot more. But it left me feeling like there was one big question that I was feeling. What the heck is the WWE doing with R-Truth? That's what I want to know. So they put R-Truth inside this match, and I'll be honest, I never expected R-Truth to win. A lot of people were saying, oh, R-Truth needs to be the one that takes the belt off of John Cena. No, that's incorrect. He's not the one that's supposed to take it off of there. But what I expected was for it to be a good match where John Cena and Ron Cena, R-Truth, were inside the ring together, and R-Truth shows that he belongs, that he hung with the 17-time world champion who says that his last time is now. But what did we get? We just got a thing just to forward another storyline. There was nothing in it for R-Truth. John Cena, though, I think he's doing a great job with being a heel right now, and a lot of people will disagree with me. I love that John Cena is cheating every single time in order for him to win. But you know what? The shot to the nether regions that John Cena gave R-Truth, I think it was unneeded in this match. Why? Because I don't think that R-Truth was even that close to beating John Cena. He smelled it, right, to beat John Cena, but he wasn't even close enough to beat John Cena. So why did John Cena have to resort to such weird tactics, some cheating tactics? You're trying to say, but you know what? Maybe John Cena just went in and just wanted to get it done real quick. And you know what? If you ever wanted to get a man down, you kick him in the family jewels. You could take his wallet out of his pocket, spend all the money, and then when you're done, you come back, you slip it back in his pocket and walk away. That's just how it feels when you get kicked in the thing if you don't have one. But R-Truth was never positioned as a threat to John Cena in any way. The only thing that he was the punchline. Came out dressed up. The last time is now in his bootleg knockoff John Cena. The last time is now farewell T-shirt for 2025. That's what he was. That's what he is. I felt that this was the time where R-Truth was going to break out and they were going to say, you know what? I see R-Truth as a future world champion. But you know what I see R-Truth still as? Still as the laughing stock in the WWE. Don't get it wrong. I know, you know that R-Truth has a safe job in the WWE. Nobody's not going to take that position from him. R-Truth has that funny man gimmick lockdown. Nobody's taking it from him until he's ready to give it away. They're not going to release R-Truth anytime soon. I'd be shocked if I saw that they released R-Truth. But you know what, though? R-Truth deserves a lot more. R-Truth could 100% become the world champion. So, when we're looking at this picture, I think that John Cena, the whole entire thing with John Cena, I think that he's just reminding us, though, in that match, that he's always willing to take the shortcut. Right, the ball shot, the kick in the low blow is the way that they're telling the story now. And like I said, the way that the story should be told when it's Cody and John Cena one-on-one the next time is that Cody Rhodes gets the hit, and then John Cena turns around and thinks that he's got that one in the bag to throw the belt around. But when he gets ready to turn back around, Cody Rhodes is holding the cup in his hand because he protected himself and he was smart, hit John Cena with the crossroads, cover him and win. That's how that match should go. But we're going to move on, right? Because Saturday, this is not why we're here. We're not here to talk about every single thing that happened in Saturday night's main event or to talk about the winners and stuff like that. There was something wrong with Saturday night's main event, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to crack this egg. So make sure you keep it locked because we are going to 100% talk about what the problem was with Saturday night's main event. Heel Vegas, still in the chat. He said, John did the low blow to cement himself as a heel even more. He didn't need to do it. It was a statement. I agree. He didn't have to. He said, shame since R-Truth as Ron the Truth Killings was the first of a black NWA champion. Yeah, but you know what? In the realm of the WWE, I guess that doesn't even really matter because they don't. If the WWE doesn't talk about it, if WWE doesn't tell you on television, if they don't put it on their social media channels, then it doesn't matter. Nobody said, you know, R-Truth was a one-time world champion facing the 17-time world champion John Cena. They didn't care to tell us that Because you know what? In the realm of the WWE, it didn't matter. But let's take a look at that. Thank you so much for your comments. Let's take a look at that match with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in that steel cage match. And let me tell you this. That match was short. It was short for a match with so much backstory. Do you know how long that match was? And we also got a poll up if you're watching live. Did you like, what's the question that I asked? I asked so many darn questions. That's what you get for wrestling and getting hit in the head. Was Saturday night's main event a letdown, yes or no? Simple. And right now, we got 100% yes. Wow. Damn. Could somebody put no that it wasn't a letdown and then come into the comments and defend yourself? You know, this the best part about the Tristan Law Show is that I give you the ability to have a voice. Not everybody wants to be a podcaster, but everybody has a voice. So come use your voice. I want to hear from you. No judgment. For whatever reason you think that Saturday night's main event wasn't a letdown, go ahead and put that in the comments. But that 11-minute and 50-second steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. Let me tell you something. Like I said, for a match with so much backstory, this match could have been so much better. The thing though that I enjoyed the most about the match was Jesse Ventura. I don't think that Jesse Ventura is going to be invited back again. I'll be surprised if you see him at the next Saturday night's main event in July. And that same exact weekend, they're doing WWE Evolution, the all-women's PLE pay-per-view, and then the next night, they're doing Saturday night's main event. Nope, I did that wrong. Flip it the other way. First night is Saturday night's main event, and the next night's going to be Evolution. So you already know that we're going to do 2 shows that weekend, recapping both those events right here in the Tristan Law Show. So make sure you keep it locked. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that's what we do here on the Tristan Law Show, to make sure that you keep it locked. But Jesse Ventura was upset over the way that Damian Priest left the ring, the way that he won the match. And he was saying, oh, well, you know, in my time, we didn't just walk out of the ring. In my time, you know, they would have to climb out of the cage. But I don't think that anybody told him that, you know, in the new age, that's kind of how they do it. Like you can literally walk out of the cage, and if you can't walk out of the cage, you could pin your person, you can make them submit, or you could climb over the top. So, you know, he wasn't really into that much. And that's the way he just kept harping on it. You could tell that he's not a broadcaster like Michael Cole or Pat McAfee. There's a couple times that I think that, you know, Jesse Ventura could have laid out a little bit and just give things a little bit more room to breathe. But he always had something to say. But you know what? That's what made it different. And it wasn't all night. It was just that one little time. But this match, though, between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, this match would have hit way hard at Money in the Bank. But so now that we got that match, what's going to happen at Money in the Bank? The same exact rematch? The same exact match that we've been seeing for the past 2 years? Look, I was probably the one that said, you know what? I didn't expect another match to come. This was months ago between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, and we got it again, and they did it differently. I appreciate it. But again, I don't think that I want it again. Let's go to the chat. Heel Vegas on fire today. He says Jesse Ventura has been the most consistently entertaining performer as a commentator in every Saturday night main event he's been part of recently. Okay. All right. He also says that reports have claimed that Drew has been working injured, but Dirt Sheet's report would always be taken with a grain of salt. 100%. Let me tell you that. Thank you so much for your comments. And if you like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, make sure you check out his channel. He does some really cool things with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If that's what you're into, if you're not into it, pass it on to somebody that's into it, just like the Tristan Law Show. If you may not be into this, pass this on to somebody that is into it. But let me tell you about the Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre thing. If Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest still have any beef after last night, I need the both of them to put on a Get Along t-shirt. You need to put Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in there, because I don't want to see them anymore fighting each other. Like, golly, what else more can we do? You had the opportunity to give us a nice long match that would have been drawn out and told the story, but you blew your shot in 11 minutes and 50-second WWE. Nah, not at all. Yeah, that wasn't it last night. And that was a part of the problem with everything that went on last night. Now, we are going to go into the main event, right? The reason why this episode may not even last long is because Saturday night's main event wasn't even that long to begin with. The main event, this is where the show completely shifted for me. Thanks to a certain former undisputed WWE champion and his very dumb quote. Wait till you recap the quote that I am going to talk about that Cody Rhodes said, and you're going to be like, you know what? Maybe this crazy guy has got a chance. So the match was the whole entire match between Logan Paul and Jey Uso for the World Championship match was 9 minutes and change. At about the 8-minute mark, John Cena rears his ugly head and he interferes inside that match. But I think I finally figured out why John Cena interfered. Listen to me. Walk with me for a little bit. We're going to hold hands. We're going to walk with it, and I'm going to see if I can explain to you. So right after John Cena's match and before Jey Uso's match, I think it was right about at the cage match, John Cena and Jey Uso had a little conversation in the back. And a part of that conversation was, oh, so you're going to ruin wrestling and let like a YouTuber, or he wants a YouTuber to ruin wrestling and become the WWE, to become a heavyweight champion. I think the issue was that John Cena said that nobody but John Cena is going to ruin wrestling. Because if you let a YouTuber just come in and become the world champion, then what the hell does that say for anybody else? Anybody can just do wrestling? Anybody sitting on YouTube could become world champion. Look, I was trained. Semi-retired pro wrestler Tristan Law, host of the Tristan Law Show, your host. I can go in here. I can do some wrestling, but it's not about me right now. It's about Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Logan Paul, and Jey Uso, and this waste of time that we got last night in this 8-minute match. John Cena wanted to be the one to ruin pro wrestling. He did not want Jey Uso losing to Logan Paul, the YouTuber, to be the reason why pro wrestling is ruined. But then, we got a return. We got Cody Rhodes' return. I did not think that Cody Rhodes was going to return yet. If it was up to me booking, I wouldn't want Cody Rhodes to return so soon. But it looks like we might get that rematch between John Cena and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. I don't see why not, because now all of a sudden we got a match at Money in the Bank with Logan Paul and John Cena versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. The thing that really made me want to drive off the deep end was that Cody Rhodes was only there for one reason last night at Saturday night's main event. And the only reason that Cody Rhodes was at Saturday night's main event was to handle his business. That's him right there getting the microphone literally 3 seconds. 3 seconds after the bell rang. John Cena's like, oh, let me go ahead and get the mic. I mean, not John Cena. Cody Rhodes is like, let me go ahead and get the mic so I can put myself over, so I can get myself in. So then he gets on the microphone and he says that he wants to challenge John Cena and Logan Paul in a tag team match against him and his brother, Jey Uso. Your brother? It's not your brother, bruh. Let me tell you why that's not your brother. Cody. I'm about to lose it. Cody, that's not your brother. If he's Cody Rhodes' brother, where was he at WrestleMania when he was getting his balls kicked in by John Cena, huh? What kind of brother sits in the back and watches his brother get a 2-on-1 match against John Cena and the wannabe wrestler Travis Scott? That's if that is my brother, if that's what a brother is like, you know what? I'm going to fire all my brothers because I don't need any. I don't want any fake friends as brothers. I don't want nobody as a brother if I want to have a brother like Jey Uso. That's not your brother. Here's the problem, and I keep saying it with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a heel. Cody Rhodes is only using people, and Cody Rhodes is only doing what is best for him. Cody Rhodes don't care about nobody. The only thing Cody Rhodes cares about is the legacy of the Rhodes last name. He doesn't even want his, I'm betting, Cody doesn't even want his real brother, Dustin Rhodes, in the WWE because you know what? That's just another Rhodes person to come take the last name and try to run with it. Cody Rhodes is an egomaniac. He's a jerk and he's self-centered. How is it that your brother is having a match against Logan Paul? And a match that he's probably going to win too if it wasn't for John Cena. But John Cena came out there and magically you happen to run back out there and cinch up John Cena and drop John Cena's head. Why didn't you come out in the R-Truth match? That match wasn't for the championship. So it didn't matter if there's a win, lose, or draw in that match. But no, you decide to come in the end because that match is going to probably get thrown out the window either way, that main event, because John Cena interfered. But no. You wanted to come help your brother, you dummy Cody Rhodes. So I'm not talking about Cody Runnels. I don't know him. We're talking about Cody Rhodes, a character. Cody Rhodes. The man didn't even say he wanted a tag team match. The man just won right after he almost got screwed, probably out of the championship by John Cena and Logan Paul. And you're like, you know what? At Money in the Bank, it's going to be you and Logan Paul against me and my brother. And Jey Uso's probably looking up like, bro, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for that. Look. Cody Rhodes is a heel. I don't care what nobody tells me. He's a heel. Cody Rhodes is not who the hell you think he is. I made a video about that. That was the last episode. I think that was the last episode that I made live. After you're done, you can go ahead and check that out. The previous live episode. Cody Rhodes is not who he tells you that he is. Cody Rhodes is a parasite. Cody Rhodes is a cancer. Cody Rhodes is the kind of guy that, yo, if you didn't have any friends, you don't even want Cody Rhodes as a friend. Let's go to the chat. Heel Vega again, still on fire, said it's legit might be a catalyst for Cody's heel turn in the future. He's already a heel. I'm telling you. He's a heel running around pretending that he's a babyface. He says that CM Punk warned Cody during their promos leading towards the Royal Rumble. I feel if or when Cody gets his title back from Cena, he's going to lose it to Punk. I disagree. I think that Randy Orton has first dibs. First dibs. So if John Cena loses that championship, like if John Cena loses the championship, then what? He's just going to be a heel running around through the rest of the year until he retires. I think nobody will care. John Cena has to stay heel. But you know what? We got that tag match coming as Saturday night's main event. I mean, not Saturday night's main event. At Money in the Bank in a couple weeks. Maybe they can redeem themselves from this long episode of Monday Night Raw that we just got, where every match could have just been the main event. But you know what? They didn't give enough time. So let's talk about it. Why did the show feel so rushed? The total wrestling time in this entire 2-hour show, listen to me. Look, let me get closer to y'all so that y'all can hear me. The entire wrestling time in that show, the Saturday night's main event, was 44 minutes and 20 seconds of a 2-hour show. Why the heck were they rushing? Oh, because they wanted to show the vignettes. They wanted to give Jesse Ventura time to talk because they want to show all the legends. Yo, I'm telling you, if Saturday night's main event was not a money grab, I don't know what it is. Compare it to December and April's Saturday night main event. In December, we got 50 minutes and 20 seconds of actual in-ring pro wrestling. In April, we got 46 minutes and 35 seconds. So it seems like WWE is going backwards. But WWE, even though in April they gave us 46 minutes worth of wrestling, comparing it to the 44 minutes of wrestling that we got last night, there was one extra match. So now, but you know what? There's even a match you didn't even see. There was a dark match with the Creed brothers, and I think it might have been, I don't know who the hell it was. We're just going to move on from there. But if they was going to cut a match, the match they could have cut, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible, was Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. I could have lived a good life without that match. They could have had that match open up open up. Where she at on SmackDown? That could have been a great match. That could have sufficed as the main event on SmackDown, right? But they could have saved that match. What is it? The 4, 5, 6 minutes in that match, the 7 minutes in that match, and split the time up against everybody else, because every darn thing last night felt rushed. WWE is giving less and less time to wrestling in Saturday night's main event and giving more and more time to everything else. All the gaga, all the hoopla, all the nostalgia. They want to remind us what it was like to watch Saturday night's main event back in the day. Nobody cares. Most of us that are watching the WWE right now, we're in our early 40s, late 40s, early 30s, whatever. You might never properly remember Saturday night's main event. You probably don't even care about Saturday night's main event. The only reason Saturday night's main event came on was because rock and wrestling was doing so good in the 80s that Dick Ebersol said, you know what, or whoever in NBC said, you know what, I want to go ahead and do a show the weekend when Saturday Night is gone. Saturday Night Live is gone. Saturday Night Live, season 50 is done. I love Saturday Night Live. I watch the whole thing on YouTube. So now they got to fill it. And they're going to fill it with 44 minutes and 20 seconds of actual wrestling. Saturday Night Live has more time in jokes than Saturday Night Main Event had in wrestling. I'm there to watch wrestling. I don't care respectfully about the legends and everything else that's going on. All I want to see is the actual wrestling. That's why the matches felt so short. It's like, oh, damn, this match is over already? It felt like an episode of Raw. Not even. It felt like an episode of WWE Superstars. If every big match, if every big return, every big match, it gets eat up time, the moments won't mean anything. The thing about pro wrestling, people, and you're getting this from a semi-retired pro wrestler, Tristan Law. I was trained by the Dudley Boys. I was trained by Nunzio. I was trained by a lot of people. And one of the biggest things that I take away from pro wrestling is that it's not about the moves. You can't probably remember every single move in every single match last night. But what you can remember is some of the moments. And I feel that because there wasn't enough time, there wasn't really that many moments. What was the moment in the Zelina Vega match? When Chelsea Green had the busted nose? Oh my God, great moment. I think the only match that took the time to give us the moments was the tag team match, Seth Rollins and Braun Baker versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn. We got a moment in there. We got a moment right in the end of the match. And maybe even the main event, even though it was short, right? And the main of but the thing though about the main event was that the moment wasn't even in the match. It happened around the match. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Give us our damn wrestling. Let's see. Heel Vega says ad revenue controls TV streaming. Right, look, I'm not telling them that they can't make ad money. WWE in this day and age, there's so many other ways that they can collect ad revenue. They can do a picture-in-picture and show it up on the screen while the wrestling is still happening. But you know what? There wasn't like there was any, I don't know, maybe I watched something different. I watched it on TV, on the DVR. So it wasn't like they were cutting to commercial. That's not what they were doing. What they were actually doing was just not giving us any wrestling. They're showing me Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt's dad and uncle. That's nice. You know what? That's real nice. They're showing us Tatanka and Lalani Kai and Jesse the Body Ventura. That's real nice. That's real nice. Look, you have to respect the past that was there before you, because without the past, you don't have any future. But I tell you this, we can't rely so heavy on the past to make people want to fall in love with wrestling again. You want to make people fall in love with wrestling, give those matches some time and give them some real moments. But let me tell you this, after watching Saturday night's main event, I think that Punk versus Reed, Cena versus Cody, that's what we're going to get coming out through the summer. And I think that WWE, they paced last night slow. just so that we'd have something for Money in the Bank, which is coming in 2 weeks. Great. We just can't wait. But there are 3 events this weekend. You had TNA Under Siege. You had Saturday night's main event. TNA Under Siege was on Friday night. You had Saturday night's main event, which was obviously last on Saturday. And now tonight, you have AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And I think, and this is coming from a guy who does not watch AEW, so this here is going to be a hot take. I think that AEW Double or Nothing is going to be the show of the weekend. Look, there's not much that AEW has to do. Just turn on the lights, have a few matches, and then just go home. But I 100% believe that if you're watching AEW's Double or Nothing tonight, I think that you're going to be in for a treat, so make sure that you go ahead and get that. But I'll tell you this, though. Saturday night's main event, I don't think it's dead. But after last night, I think it's definitely running on fuse. You know, WWE, if you want this to feel special, you need to go ahead and you need to give the wrestlers time. Well, thank you so much for joining me and watching the Tristan Law Show. I'm Tristan Law. If it's your first time here, hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But if you like what I did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share this with a friend. Don't make me a dirty little secret. I'll be back on Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about WWE ditching New Orleans to go to Las Vegas. Why? I'm going to break it all down for you next time on the Tristan Law Show. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive, nothing in sight, forever